And they're like, oh yeah, we just jump in here, and we just do this and we just do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I like really what did I come into? Because I mean I'm just the type of person that's like I'll hit it head on and then I'm like, ooh.
I should have processed through that a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I should have.
I am so excited. We have Cat Dooley here in the Ad Dad studio with us today on the show. I cannot believe we finally got you here. We finally got you here. You are such a busy woman. You are such an amazing woman. You and Rob both. I wish Rob was here. Rob, we love you. You're a huge part of everything that goes on under the Rob Speedy delivery roof, the Monkeys on the Run roof, all the things you guys do. So, Carolyn, which is how I originally know you as,
Right,
Carolyn.
right.
I never actually tell me, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer Cat? Do you prefer Carolyn? Like, what are you going by today?
I go by Cat, which it's kind of funny. That used to be my initials, and it's a really random story, but I had some crazy Facebook stalker that I had to like change my name, and it was a big mess. And so that is how I came up with Cat, and it's just stuck, and it's kind of sassy and fun like me. And it works. So I haven't gone by Carolyn for a long time. It's kind of funny when I actually hear my real name.
That's so funny. So my real name is Kenneth. And so my full name is Kenneth Chad Kunkel. My mom and dad, God bless them. I don't know why they did this to me because no one can ever spell my name right. Never has. And so my dad wanted to make me a junior. His name's Kenneth. And my mom liked the name Chad. And they're like, well, why don't we name him Kenneth Chad? And we both like the name KC. So I've always gone by my initials.
Nice.
So Cat. Excuse me if I revert back because I knew you as Carolyn.
Perfectly fine. You're good. You're good. We go way back. So
We do go way back, and actually, it's so ironic. And I want you to tell the story here, but it's so ironic that you and I are sitting here in the Ad Dad, which used to be one of the Observer newspapers places, which that's how you and I first met was at the Observer. So it's all this really kind of cool full circle. But yeah, why don't you talk to me about when you first came to La Grande? Let's talk about the Observer for a little bit, and then we'll continue to today.
yeah, so it was really interesting. I was in the newspaper industry for quite a while. I was in Colorado and then in Northern California, and then I came on board with Westcom, which is the parent company of the Observer, and they brought me out here in 2011. And when I first moved here, I thought maybe I died and went to hell. I mean, seriously, I didn't know a soul. I was weird. I had pink hair. I had a dog with pink hair. I drove a green Kia Soul, big word pink on the back that said relax. I was not made for La Grande. Like, I was definitely the weirdest one that you could ever find, right? And then, when I came on board, it was to take the paper from 5 days down to 3 days. And so that was really challenging because I took a brunt of a lot of that because folks love their newspaper and it was part of their everyday life. And so here I come in from California, weird as all get out, and definitely not a La Grande person, and taking their paper down to 3 days a week. So it was really tough. And Kelly Craft, bless her heart, she kind of took me under her wing and was like, it's okay. We're going to make sure you're good. We've got you. And treated me so well and introduced me to a bunch of people. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just going to throw myself into the community. So I got on the board of Main Street. I joined the chamber as an ambassador, and I just really volunteered like crazy until to the point I got volunteer burnout. And then I had to kind of take some steps back and go, you know what? I can't do it all. So then fast forward a little bit, Rob moved in next door to me, and his company needed help growing. And I said, well, this is what I do. And if you take a chance and you pay what I want you to pay, then I can help grow the business. And so fast forward to now, we've grown Rob Speedy delivery pretty significantly. And then we opened Monkeys on the Run in 2022. And that continues to expand with, we started just doing car wraps and signs and banners. Then we got into the clothing options. So we do the direct to film now. And then we just bought out Grande and Embroidery in March. So it's been a crazy whirlwind. I'm on the board for Main Street. Tori Brock and I are Gandy, yeah, Tori Gandy. Her and I are going to do co-presidency of Main Street this year, which I think will be really good. And just trying to get behind that organization as well.
I remember, because when I was working at the newspaper when you showed up, it wasn't very long until you started playing with. I don't know what it was called, but you were making like stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Or what was that? What was that machine?
It was a silhouette cameo, like a cricket.
A Cricut, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this Cricut machine. It started clear back then. I mean, that was 2012.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember we just talking, and you were designing stickers and doing these different things. So it does. I guess that's so relevant to me, and I'm bringing that point up because when I heard that you, with Monkeys on the Run, were doing vinyl banners and clothing and all these other things, I'm like, well, of course she is, because I mean that's the next phase for her. And so I don't think I've ever expressed this to you, but when I heard you were doing it, I said, well, good for her. I remember when she started doing it and started on a little Cricut machine. And I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thanks.
And taking that creative and going to the next step and taking that risk. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Because La Grande is still La Grande. And as much as we love living here, it's very fascinating. We are our own breed here, aren't we?
We are. And, it's so funny because I have to travel to Portland or Seattle or Boise at least once or twice a month because I am part of a much larger courier company. And so I always love getting to come back home. I'm like, man, I go over there, it's a rat race. Even Boise, like I was just floored at the traffic in Boise. I'm like, what happened? But I love coming home to La Grande. And once you find your people here, you really find your people. And I'm a huge supporter of, shop local, be local, support local, whatever we can do for our local economy and our local friends. But at the same time, I'm also big on like we all have to collaborate together. So even our competitors, it's like we're collaborators. And it's not that I'm going to be like, oh, here's all my clients and go have fun. And they're not going to do that to me. But like we work together, if there's a service I can provide that they're unable to provide, they recommend me and vice versa. And so it works really well. And I feel like sometimes in La Grande that's super successful and sometimes it isn't. But we all have to start somewhere. And like if we're going to spearhead something or get us to the next level where La Grande really needs to go, it's going to come down to all of our small businesses collaborating together and saying, how do we make it, whether it's a shipping issue and we can't get things here because shipping is so high, or do we do a group order of something, or how do we work together to really have small business survive in La Grande? And I wouldn't be anywhere else. I love it. Well, we live in Union, but and I love it there too. I mean, the communities here, the people, our county commissioners, our city councils, all of these folks, if you really get to know them, they are genuine, down home, amazing people. And that's what we're surrounded by here. And we're really blessed by that.
I agree. It's real people. As opposed, I think one of the things we talk about a lot on the show is just rural communities in general. You can't hide in the numbers of people.
Correct.
Because it is such a small community, when you go to Safeway, you're going to see clients. My poor wife, when she was nursing, she worked OBGYN with Stacy Whitaker. And so she's seen people in some very vulnerable positions for women's health reasons. And she never remembers or anybody as far as what that whole thing is. And she's very good with HIPAA but people recognize her and either they're like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you, or they're so embarrassed to see her out in Safeway. But you're going to see patients, you're going to see clients in Safeway, whereas even in Boise, if you live in Meridian, you might not see some of your Boise clients.
Right.
Your kids aren't going to the same school because there's 100 schools.
Right. Right.
So yeah, the rural community, there's an accountability. Because you are shopping, you're going to see these people all the time.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to behave a little bit more than I think you could. And you can't just hide.
Right. No, and for me, I'm such a bold out there kind of person. Most people know me. I love to change up my look from time to time, do different wigs. I love to have fun. I love to be different. I'm very vocal. I'm very passionate. Sometimes that passion runs a little bit deeper than it should. There's times I've had to go back and make a public apology or do things like that, but it's all part of growing, and I feel like the community is also very forgiving. They're very supportive. They're very forgiving, but at the same time, they also will hold you accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I hold others accountable just as I would myself. And I think it's just important that as we're all growing, we realize that within ourselves as well. And we go, hey, okay, you know what? It's time for an apology. Or, oh, it's not time for an apology, but maybe we need to go, have a sit down and figure this out. So that way there isn't any animosity, because, it is a small town, and the last thing you want is people being like, arguing with each other. I mean, we all have our opinions and the way we live our lives, and that's fine. Everybody is more than entitled to that. But if we're going to grow small businesses together, we kind of have to take that step back sometimes and some deep breaths. And if I haven't learned anything this last year and a half, that's probably one of the biggest things I've learned is got to take a step back and take in a deep breath before you go.
Before you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Before you come out swinging.
Right. Because I mean, I'm just the type of person that's like, I'll hit it head on, and then I'm like, ooh.
I should have processed through that a little bit.
Yeah, maybe I should have. But, I mean, it's growing pains, and that's, they happen, and, we all go through them. But I think it's all like events plus response equals outcome. So, the event's going to happen. How I personally respond equals my personal outcome. And there's times, like I said, I've had to do a lot of things because of that. And it's good and bad. You gain respect or you don't. And it's just kind of the way it goes.
And you can hit the mic 20 more times. That's okay. We have AI. It'll clean that right up. Yeah, no worries. I don't want you to not talk with your hands. Yeah, you're fine. It's all good. No worries. I don't want to dwell on the past, but I do want to jump back a little bit before we continue talking about kind of where we're at today and everything that you guys are doing. Because you and I have that connection back at the Observer where, like you said, so you came in 2011. I think I might have started in 2010. I don't remember. Yeah, that's about right. So I think I was only about a year before you came. And I want to talk about Kelly Craft just a little bit. You'd mentioned that she kind of took you under her wing. God rest her soul. I hope she's just at peace and doing well. But her daughter, Jamie, is still doing very well, and she's got kids, and she's a teacher and all those things. But talk to me about that relationship that you had with Kelly.
So I have to laugh at this all the time. So when I first came on board, she basically said, I don't like you. I don't want you here. You're from California. You're weird. You have this little dog, right? So the first couple of days, she kind of put me through the ringer because they had an inside candidate that really wanted the position.
That's right.
And they didn't end up going that way. So it was one of those things. And I was just like sitting in my office and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, really, what did I do? And then she just started softening up. Like the more, she was always kind of like, the initial bite, kind of like, I'm going to take care of everybody. These are my people and, that sort of thing. And then she invited me to her birthday party in July and I moved in June. So I hadn't been here long at all. So she invited me to her birthday party up in the Minam and we all went camping and they had like camp chairs in the water and then they were peeing in the water. And I'm just standing there like, not necessarily mortified, but I'm like, this is so not in my element. Like
backwoods stuff right here.
And they're like, oh yeah, we just jump in here and we just do this and we just do that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I come into? And then we went to a rodeo at the Maverick. And
I mean, if you could call it a rodeo, Maverick.
Right.
It was bull riding. It
was whatever. It was fun, whatever it was. We had a great time. But I wore a pink boa and like a pink and white polka dotted dress. And she was like, oh God, girl, you are going to stand out. I said, that's all it is for me. At this point in time, I might as well be the circus clown or, the rodeo clown. Because at this point, I'm not fitting in anyway. So she just, it was like, she just kind of, at first was really tough. And then as we got closer, she was, more and more that, hey, you're not as weird as what we're making you out to be. You're actually pretty cool. You're not, this crazy. There was another gal that came on the same time as I did. And I think she got here like a month before I did. And she was definitely not one that people were really fond of. And so I think they kind of put her and I in the same category for a while. I'm not a corporate person. I will never be a corporate person. I mean, that's like I always tell people, if you're looking for somebody that's going to show up in, a pinstripe skirt and blazer and, that is not me. But if you want somebody that will take care of your clients, make sure everything is taken care of, that's me. So, back to Kelly was just, I think they just didn't know what to expect, some weird girl from California with a little dog with pink hair. I mean, so yeah.
That was a shocker for sure, especially for Western Communications, that building. I mean, you talk about, I don't want to dog on anything, but the building was dirty. It was run down. It was neglected in maintenance. I mean, you could just see the writing on the wall as to, this organization. And I remember, and then with Obamacare and everything that rolled out, I remember working there and we lost what little health insurance we had. It was gone. And then you see the paper getting smaller and smaller. I remember back there actually printing the newspaper, and the rolls we'd put on there would get narrower and narrower and narrower. And yeah, what a wild time. What a wild thing. But I mean, I look back on it with some fondness because I got to do something that most people never get to do. I got to print a local newspaper on a 1960s all manual printing press, and I was good at it.
Yeah.
I got really good at it. I still have dreams about it. That building literally doesn't exist. That machine is gone. It is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And I still I'll have dreams a couple times a year about going back and having to fire that printing press up and how to run it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I get to tell my grandkids about that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's such a treasure because I'm such an old soul anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that's where my start in media was printing the newspaper. It sounds way cooler than it actually was. It sounds way cooler, and I'm gonna hang on to that. And then you did some other things, and then eventually was in radio, and then dad. So I told everybody, and I tell everybody, I said, look, video, this is my last run at advertising. When video's obsolete, I'm out. So if it's a hologram next, I'm not buying hologram technology. I'm out. It's video or die for me. So,
Right.
Yeah, but no, those were crazy days. How long were you at the newspaper?
So here it was 2011 to 2017.
Okay.
So about 6 years.
So were you done before they transitioned to the commercial tire building?
I was.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I never transitioned over here. But yeah, I was definitely, I'd been doing it since 2000 though, because I started in advertising in Colorado and then ended up in California and then ended up here. So all in all, in the industry, 17 years.
Yeah.
So
you saw a lot of change.
Mm-hmm. A lot. They just didn't plan. It was an industry that did not plan for the future very well. They had it. Where else were you going to place an ad? The only place was the newspaper for so long. And then with internet and Craigslist and all of that, it definitely became, something much bigger. And now, you don't want to wait 3 days. Heaven forbid, like this morning, there was a shooting in Union. It was on Facebook, an hour after it happened or something? It's like, man, just talk about instant, stuff happening. And it's almost too invasive in a way. And it's almost that point, like you have to learn to protect your own peace because you can get so just wrapped up in all of it. And then your algorithms and your this and your that. And it's like, oh, I need to do this when I'm out four-wheeling so I can promote my business. And I'm like, actually, no, you know what? I just need to take a day where I don't have to think about promoting Monkeys on the Run or Rob Speedy or, whatever we're doing. I love it. It's fun and it's great. But at some point in time, you have to just kind of take that step back and be like, it can't be all business. And you have to be able to just take some deep breaths and go out in the mountains and enjoy the mountains for what they are and not an advertisement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read this article. Somebody was talking about how we as Americans have completely lost the art of the hobby.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, this is interesting because I struggle with that. That is hands down me. I'm always like, well, music is a big hobby of mine. So it's like, okay, what song am I learning next? Like, what am I? And so I guess that's part of that hobby for me on guitar is trying to get better. But at some point, you got to just play because you enjoy playing. And so many of us have just like, oh, take this crafty hobby and turn it into a side hustle. Take this other thing, turn it into a side hustle. I mean, if there was a slogan for today's day and age, I would call it the age of the side hustle.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
Now, side hustles can turn into full-on businesses, and here's your Monkey on the Run plug, because remember we talked, and she started with just a little cricket. Now they do Monkeys on the Run. They make vinyl mugs and shirts. You're actually sporting Island City Market and Deli. You printed those.
We did.
So I mean, absolutely, a side hustle can turn into this full-fledged thing. And you can buy the giant roll-in printers, and you can buy all, everything that you have, and buy out the embroidery place. That's beautiful, and that's a business plan. But losing that art of the hobby, you need to be able, like you said, you need to be able to unplug. You need to be able to get away from all of that. And yeah, I wish I could get into fishing or something, and I just have not found another hobby. And I think I'm just doomed. My hobby's going to be music. So when I'm sick of music, what do? I don't know. We'll find out. I tried reading again. I need to find a different book. I'm just like, don't care, boring, uninterested. But I'm also very insatiable. I'm a very insatiable human being. It's terrible. But yeah, we lost the art of the hobby. Like, what are some of your hobbies, Kat?
That's such a good question. I think about it, and it's like, I really don't, like you said, you've lost the art of the hobby, because I love to design, and it's just fun. I mean, I just play. I'm not a designer. I did not go to school for design, but when you put something together for somebody and they're like, this is awesome, we really like it, and I'm like, cool. And now that I have AI, night and day. I mean, it's a huge game changer. But I mean, really, we have 8 dogs, and I love my dogs. I mean, I am one.
Many.
I know. I do have a kennel license, so I am legal.
Okay.
Everybody is registered. Everybody's got their vaccines, all of that. We're good. But it's just, we have a huge house, and it's beautiful. We absolutely love where we live, and the dogs just, I don't know, they just give me a lot of joy. And I've got little tiny ones. I've got a 7-pound wiener dog, and then I've got a 110-pound golden retriever, English cream golden retriever. So they're in all different sizes, shapes. They all have their own little personalities and stuff. But, and then we just got the side-by-side for Rob's 50th. And so we'd like to take that up in the mountains and go play with, our friends, Jake Hines over at Hines Meat Company, and Jeff and them, and Shane and Crystal. I mean, we just have this little fun group of us that just go to the mountains, and it is just nice. It's just nice to be able to run through the mud every now and then, become like the redneck or whatever you want to call it. But, where you just don't have to worry about anything or anyone, and you can have a beer or two. And Rob doesn't drink, so he always drives, which is great, because we always have a designated driver. That is something that I absolutely refuse to do. Is if I have anything to drink, I'm like, nope, you know what, Rob, you're driving. But yeah, it's just, it's so. And, even in our marriage, like with Rob and I mean, there's times that, like, Rob, we can't talk about work. Like, we need to actually, like, have a conversation, about the dogs, or about what we're going to do, or the house, whatever. But sometimes it's really hard, like, because we eat, breathe, and sleep what we do. And we work together. We both work all of the businesses. And sometimes it's hard to find a conversation that doesn't lead into a work conversation. But it's what I keep telling people. I'm like, we try to take every Saturday away from work, if at all possible. I mean, some Saturdays we have to just, it's busy time or whatever, and you got to make that change. But really try to take Saturdays where we can just go play, whether it's in the summer and paddleboard, or the winter, we're going to go, go up in the mountains, or even just sit home and watch a good movie, a Hallmark Channel movie or something, by the fireplace. But just where you kind of decompress a little bit, because otherwise your marriage will never last, and your business will also suffer. And it's just to that point, you have to be able to do that.
I cannot imagine the amount of time that you spend with Rob and doing all the businesses together. I love my wife. I absolutely love my wife, and I love my children, and I have to have a lot of alone time. I really do. So they all like sleeping quite a bit. So usually when they're asleep, I'm out in my music studio doing music things, the shred shed.
I love it.
But yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing that you guys are able to spend so much time together, and be on the same page, and be able to run these businesses together.
I think it's because Rob never tells me no.
Oh, really? I see.
Very, very, very seldom do I ever get a no out of him. No, I mean, I think I honestly married the best person for me as I could have ever. I mean, because we do get along so well and we're total polar opposites personality wise. He's very quiet. He's very analytical. He's super smart, and I'm more the outgoing, kind of the wild card of us both, and it's a good combo because most people could not do it. I mean, and there's days like we want to just throat punch each other as well. I mean, there's definitely those days, and I'm just like, get out of my face, or he's like, get out of mine. But he'll never say that to me. He'll just go into his little office and shut the door and do whatever he's gonna do, and he just kind of shuts down. Whereas I'm out there going, ah! But yeah, I mean, as far as personalities go, I couldn't ask for a better husband. I mean, I'm pretty really, really lucky there. I think I scored for my personality anyway.
What is the scale? Because anybody watching this, I want them to understand the scale of Rob's Speedy Delivery, number one. And then I want to talk more in depth about Monkeys on the Run. But how big is Rob's Speedy Delivery? I mean, we see your guys' rigs all over town. And it's not just this town they're in. You guys are going all over the place. So can you just, what is the scale? How many vehicles, how many employees, how far are you going with Rob's Speedy Delivery?
So with Rob's Speedy Delivery, we have 19 employees. We cover Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. Pretty much we stay along I-84, and then we go up to Kennewick, Tri-Cities area, Sunnyside, kind of that direction as well. So we run basically Vancouver to Boise 7 nights a week. And then we do a couple of days, couple times a day to the Tri-Cities. And then we've got routes all in between. So we hit Enterprise on like Thursdays, and we do Baker and Sumter and Halfway and all that on, various days depending on what our freight comes in. So with that model with Rob's, some of the large trucking companies don't like to go over Cabbage Hill. So they contract with us. So they drop at our warehouse in Pendleton, and then we bring everything over for them so they don't have to bring a 53-footer over. And then our driver returns home every night. So that works out really well. And then we do some pharmaceutical deliveries, and we kind of bring the mother load of things over. And then as an expansion of, our largest client is MMS Courier, which is based out of Portland, Boise, and Seattle. We have warehouses in all three areas. I am an equity partner with that company, very small piece, but also the COO of that company. And we are more of a nationwide with that. So it allows Rob Speedy Delivery to also have that expansion. We have that ability to utilize those drivers if they're small enough packages, because the majority of my drivers over there in those markets run small cars. And so most of the stuff that's smaller, I've had people in Wallowa County, they had a pump that went down. It was like this tiny little part that they needed out of Portland right away. I called over to my team over there and said, hey, I need you guys to get me this part within 30 minutes, and I need you to drive it straight to me here in La Grande, and then I'm going to drive it up to Enterprise. So we're able to get somebody on the road right away and get that part coming out of Portland. Is it cheap? No. But when you're losing $1 million a day because your machine is down, spending $500 or $600 to get a part to you is a drop in the bucket. So, really we're able to utilize a lot of our partnerships and a lot of things to be able to help bring more, fast service here if we need to. And then, we have people that, oh, hey, will you pick this up in Portland and just bring it on your line haul? Saves them a little bit of money. Definitely cheaper than them spending 9 hours on the road to go to Portland and
Personally,
back.
yeah, for sure. We're sending an employee over to do it.
Yeah. So, it's all, we do uniforms for some folks that they have to get dry cleaning done, but there's no dry cleaning here. So we'll either hit Walla Walla or Ontario for folks. Just kind of random needs that people have found that they've needed. We shy away from a lot of the personal delivery stuff that's, hey, can you go to this yard sale and pick this up or this auction house? We've done it before, and it's always a nightmare. We've done some home delivery or like Home Depot pickups and stuff, but they really have to have all their ducks in a row. And so we've kind of gotten away from some of that because it's just
the average person is not that organized.
Right.
Businesses can be, but the average person is not that organized to get all the information and stuff you need to make it profitable.
Right. And it's like then my driver's sitting there for an hour and a half. I'm like, we don't have an hour and a half. I'm paying him. And it's just like, So we do shy away from that, but we really try to help the small businesses and the folks that are, hey, we need to try to get this part out of Boise ASAP. I mean, I run a lot of stuff from Boise to here because we're there, 6, 7 in the morning, typically back here between 11 and noon. It works for folks. They call me at 5 o'clock the night before. Hey, can you get this? Oh, sure, we can pick that up. No problem. So it works out really well, and it's not a huge like out of their pocket. It's not, $30-$40 depending on the weight. Of course, if it's heavier or larger, the weight goes up, the cost goes up. But, if I'm going to spend all day driving down to Boise, or at least 7 or 8 hours of my day, it's not worth it for me. I'll just pay you $50 and you pick it up for me, have it here by noon, great. I can keep working and doing what I'm doing, and which works out great. So that's really kind of been our business model and how that's worked out. And it's been really good. Like we've, transportation's exhausting. I'm not going to tell you differently, especially when you're carrying, sometimes we do organs, sometimes we do blood, sometimes we do meds. I mean, you've got life-saving, life-ending drugs on board, and you've got to get this to these patients because it's not a matter of, a missed delivery. It's a matter of somebody's life. And that's where it's so important with what we do. And we know that, and all of our drivers know that as well. Like, we're not just delivering a pizza, although there's some days I wish I was. But, we're delivering stuff that is, if your grandmother was on her deathbed,
Right.
you would go through hell and high water to make sure that she was taken care of. And that's when I talk to even my other drivers with MMS too, because I have hundreds of drivers over there. And, when I talk to them about it, I'm like, it's super important that we all have this vision and that we all understand what it is that we do and how, like when ODOT was saying they were maybe having to close the roads and stuff. I mean, I went to the Senate, I went to Paul our county commissioner, and I said, what do I do? Who do I write letters to? Because we need this plowed. Like, we need to be able to get through. And it's not all about me, but what we're transporting, yes, I want our drivers to be safe and all that. But if it just comes down to we just don't have the staffing to plow the roads, that's a big deal because we have meds that are on board that will save somebody's life, or, and that's where it's just so important. And so, really being active and making sure who to go to, like, looking up Paul, because I don't want him to give that stigma of, oh, they're just the crazy rednecks over in Eastern Oregon and everybody's screaming and up in arms. Follow the right pathway to get where you need to get and, see where that funding and stuff comes from. So, but it's important to be a voice for your community as well.
Absolutely. Well, and it's going to take us as a community and as business owners to lobby for ourselves.
Exactly.
I mean, no, if we don't speak up and lobby for ourselves professionally, it's my favorite term is professionally persistent. In the sales portion of one of the many hats that I wear, I love asking people, so how would you like me to stay professionally persistent? What would you like? When do you want me to reach back out? Because I never want to be like that direct TV sales guy that's just like calling and calling and calling. Most people don't,
It pops up in your living room.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be that guy knocking on your door. I chased you down. But yeah, we have to lobby for ourselves. We absolutely have to. And if we don't speak up for ourselves, who else is going to?
Exactly.
No one's going to advocate for us. We have to advocate for ourselves. And I like what you said, not just screaming and like up in arms, but through the right channels. No, I love that. And thank you for lobbying for us. And we could easily go into politics. I do not want to go into politics on this show.
Not me either. No, we're good.
At all. Yeah, so that's amazing. You said 19 employees just in Rob Speedy Delivery here. Monkeys on the Run. So many things you guys do. And I know we talked about a little bit earlier of like the kind of the laundry list of everything you do. But I want to talk about the heart behind Monkeys on the Run. Because compared to Rob Speedy Delivery, and as great as a business as that is, and as much of a headache that is, and like all the insurance, like there's all these things, right? You decided to, oh, hey, we need to do something else. We need to do car wraps. We need to do swag and banners and all these things. Why? Why would you take that whole other headache on? Why would you do that?
So, interesting question. But actually, so when there was a company in Pendleton that was closing and their employee didn't want to move. And so I said, well, let's just see if we can, buy the machines and we'll just open up our own wrap company. So we did. We opened up Letter Wrap in Pendleton. And then we decided about 8 months into it, we're like, we might as well put it in La Grande. It makes more sense. We have more La Grande connections than we do in Pendleton. And we were seeing more of our clientele coming from La Grande instead of Pendleton. So we moved it over here. Well, I had started Monkeys on the Run just in case I wanted to start another courier company at some point or something like that. I thought, oh, motor, MOTR, makes complete sense for a transportation kind of. I was doing some consulting for some transportation companies. And so that's where Monkeys on the Run came from.
But you can't have too many LLCs or shuffle money around, right?
Exactly. So I was like, and then, when I moved to here, I'm like, opening up another name is just not, I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave it all under Monkeys on the Run because I love monkeys and I just think it's so fun. Like, there's so many fun plays on it that you can do. And that's me. I'm not your normal person. I love wild, crazy, just fun. You can do so many different things to monkeys. So Monkeys on the Run has stuck and people are getting more and more familiarized with it because we're sponsoring a lot more. We're trying to do a lot more in the community. But when it comes down to the heart of Monkeys on the Run, really what it is I want to see small businesses succeed. I mean, that is my passion. My dream is to be able to help. Like I see these small businesses and they have no marketing budget, no marketing plan whatsoever. They know that they need a logo, and I'm sure you see it as well. Because
I'm sitting over here just preach it, sister. Go.
So, it's like, oh, what's a branding kit? What do you mean I need to know what my fonts are? Oh, I don't know what color this is. Just pick a color. And I'm like, no. You need a brand. And you have to, if Nike just said do whatever, we wouldn't recognize Nike for a swoosh, right? Or Adidas or whatever, all these different brands that are out there. It's because they've driven that visual into your brain for years and years and years, and they've not changed. Like, there's been variations and things. Of course, people will always add whatever, but it's so important, especially when you're very first starting a small business, to brand yourself and make sure that you fully understand what you want your brand to look like. We've rebranded now twice, and I'm like, oh, good Lord, this is, it's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare.
But, being able to work with the small businesses and, okay, you only need one shirt. That's fine. You don't need to buy 50 shirts from me. I'll do one shirt for you. Let's get you going. Oh, you just need a window decal. You don't need to do a full-on vehicle wrap. They're awesome. They're great. They're cool. Yes, it's more expensive. But, we all want to stand out, but let's at least get some kind of marketing on your vehicle for you so you can, write some of that off on your taxes or just so it's a rolling billboard. I mean, if you look at Rob Speedy cars, everybody knows our cars. They're bright orange, black, and they stand out because Rob had one heck of a marketing plan when he first did his business. And, that's what, people, it's easy to try to save money on your marketing side. And that's where I really try to help people make it affordable. I don't make gangbusters. I could certainly go up higher on my rates. And I probably should at sometimes, but a lot of it's like, how do we help the community and help these small businesses? Because they're going to remember that. And I feel like as we're building those relationships with folks, it's not always about the money. It's about, I want to build a relationship with you and your business, and I want to see you succeed. So how do we get you to that next level? What can we do to help you? And then they recommend us to their friends, to their families, and, things like that. So it all kind of comes full circle. But really the passion there is just trying to support our local community and how vital that is that we all are just working together.
I love that. If I were to kind of sum up what you said, what I think you're saying is instead of having a business in a small community and going, the only way to grow my piece of pie is to take from someone else's pie, we grow the whole pie. So as the whole pie grows, everyone's piece is getting bigger. Is kind of like what I'm hearing you say. And so what you're saying, what I'm hearing you say is when I help a local business, when they succeed, their pie piece is growing, which means my pie piece is going to grow because they're going to need more employees. So they're going to need more shirts. They might open another branch. They're going to need new signage. They're going to need these things that we offer. We look at it the same way. If businesses are growing, they're going to have the funds to continue the outreach or the marketing to keep marketing, or they're going to have the funds to expand into that next thing that they always wanted to do. And then they're going to need to market that. Marketing, I'm so with you, Kat. Marketing is it's almost this like forgotten last minute. Not even last minute. It's just swept under the rug. Yeah, everyone knows they need to do it and they want it done well. They just never budget any time for it.
Or money.
Or money. Yeah, time or money. Yeah, both. The two very valuable assets, time and money, right?
Right.
And so those are the conversations I love having with people, is getting them excited about it, getting them going, no, there are professionals here that can do really good work. This isn't, yes, we live in a small rural community, but we have some world-class service. I see what you guys are doing with Monkeys on the Run, what we're doing here at the Ad Dad. It's world-class service. And we want to continue. We've only gotten better. We're going to get, every time we roll that camera, we get better at that craft. Every shirt you design, you get better at that craft. And it doesn't mean that, like, you know, what you're offering today is lesser. It's just, it's art. It's craft. I mean, look at any other business owner. The first time they rolled out whatever product it is that they're doing, you know, they're definitely better at it today.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's craft.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it just comes with, you know, whether maybe you started with a smaller machine or a different brand or something, and you realize, oh, hey, I should go. Like, we started with direct to garment, and it was garbage. I mean, it was expensive. It was definitely one of those learning curves, but it just didn't print anywhere near like the quality of the direct to film would print.
And the quality that you were wanting to give to the community.
Correct. And so, you know, you start somewhere, and then you go, ooh, I can perfect this, or, you know, different things like that. And just learning various ways. I mean, we didn't know I can't wrap a Christmas present. So, you know, I'm like, holy Toledo. So on these large projects, I partner with Envy Signs and Wraps out of Kennewick. And Nick, the owner over there, is phenomenal. He's become more like a family member to us, but he can handle all the large projects, so I can still offer that to our clients, and he gives me a really good rate. So that way our customers aren't overpaying anything. I mean, if anything, we're either cheaper or right on with the majority of your other places that you're able to get things done. So that's nice too, because then I can always say absolutely. And then Rob and Heidi Denton have partnered with us now, and they have Winner's Circle and WS Customs. So they're actually in our building with us because they can do all the engraving, the sandblasting or sand carving. And then they have a flatbed UV printer as well. So like the two of us work really well together. So it's kind of like that for imprint, but local. And there isn't something I don't think that our shop can put out now at this point in time, which is great. And it's just basically two businesses with similar things, but different substrates that are used. And I mean, we have customers that will come in and talk to me, and I'm like, oh, you know what? This is a great project for Heidi, because this is like, my machine can do this, but I think for longevity rise, you probably want to go to her, and vice versa. I mean, we are constantly pushing business back and forth, and it works out great. And then we opened the little EO shop down in the Marketplace Underground just for some La Grande, you know, some La Grande swag. And that's been really fun. It's been a good thing. So yeah, I mean, just the passion, I guess, of wanting to be in the community, part of the community, and be one of those, you know, I'm not one to sit on the sidelines. I want to be a shaker and a mover in the community. And I want it to be a positive thing for our community and our business community, especially. I mean, Rob's is business to business. Monkeys on the Run is very tailored to business. I mean, we do private birthday parties and shirts and stuff like that. So, but, you know, really when you're coming down to it, like-minded folks that are really wanting to be that entrepreneurial spirit and be able to grow something for themselves and not rely on somebody else is so inspiring to me. I think it's awesome to see young people, older people, anybody that just is like, I've got a dream. How do I make this dream happen? And it's like, I'll help invest in you as much as you'll invest in you. I'm not going to do all the work for you, but if you're really that jazzed about it, let's get you into a business program or a class through the Economic Development District. I mean, Lisa Dodson's amazing. I've done a couple of her classes. Co-starters, there's one of the ones that she had. I highly recommend that for anybody. You know, it goes through your very basic starting a business, but it's been awesome. And it's really it's really encouraging to see these businesses that are and young folks and the ideas that they have and what they want to do. I mean, look at Compost Chick. I mean, she's done phenomenal with her business, and she's a big local supporter. I mean, she's incredible, and that's another business where we did her van for her, which was awesome, and just very very local focus in supporting, collaborating together, and it's been pretty cool for her. So there's a lot of those stories out there, though.
I think one of the most attractive things about owning and running your own business is the ability to service that niche, service that need. And I love that you're talking about the heart behind is I love how community minded you are. I think that's very, very rare in today's culture. I think the heart of the volunteer is something we've lost as a country. But how often, and it's so often, but it's always local business owners stepping up. Always.
Absolutely.
It's always local. And I want everyone listening to this to realize that it's always local business owners stepping up. When you have sports calendars, you're sending your kids around, whatever the fundraiser is, it's always local business owners like Cat and Rob stepping up to that call. And so one of the cool things about running your own business is you have the ability to make those calls.
Mhm.
You have the ability to go, hey, I think we can do this better. You don't have to wait for HR and for corporate to catch up and to sign off and to give you their blessing. No, that's what I love about the Ad Dad. We are constantly, and maybe you could talk about this in your guys' business. It's constantly like, oh, well, if we made this adjustment, it would be better for us and them. You just do it. You're not waiting and meetings after meetings after meetings. Nope. This is private business. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like, with the holiday parade that's coming up. So the sponsor that we've had in the past wasn't able to do it this year. And I'm like, you know what? Monkeys on the Run will do that. So we stepped up. We're happy to sponsor it with in conjunction with La Grande Main Street, which I'm super excited about. Rob and I actually have monkey costumes. I'm hoping they get here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Maybe on the float?
I found mascot monkeys. So it's not just your flyby monkey costume. It should be.
You're going to make
fun.
Rob wear a monkey costume.
I'm going to make Rob wear a monkey costume. So
Rob, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss.
So, but yeah, it's going to be fun. So we're going to kick off the parade.
Wait a minute. She says you never say no to her, Rob. I think this might be the first time. Well, unless you're about the costume, you're hosed now. So you're going to kick off the parade.
Yeah, so we'll kick off the parade. And I got little tiny stuffed animals because I don't want to give kids candy. There's just so much candy out there.
Yeah.
And they're just tiny. They're nothing to write home about. But I figured, we threw out stuffed animals last year as well. And I had to triple how many I did this year because I was like, last year I ran out.
No,
and then
you just want to throw monkeys at children.
That's it. I wish they were all monkeys, but they're not. But then I'm also going to do T-shirts, and this is back to newspaper days.
Yeah.
So I figured I've got a coupon I'm doing. There's 4 different businesses that are basically, so Heinz Meat Company, Teal Cactus, WS Customs, and Monkeys on the Run. So we're putting a coupon out, and then I'm making a support a local dream T-shirt, shop local Eastern Oregon type thing. So I've created this fun little thing. So I'm going to hand out T-shirts as well, but I figured I'm going to roll those T-shirts and the coupons together and put them in a newspaper bag because as you're at a parade,
and it's probably going to be rain every year, and you can huck them and they don't fly open, right?
So I was like, well, I'm going back to my newspaper days, and I found a sleeve of bags, and so I was like, all right, that's what we're gonna do that and hand out stuffed animals. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I saw the need, and then Hot Lakes, huge supporter of the Friends of Hot Lakes, so we're gonna sponsor their New Year's Eve party again.
Awesome.
So we'll be the champagne toast sponsor for that, which is gonna be awesome. But just getting behind these different things, and of course, every little kid that comes in, I swear I can't say no, and I'm like, all right, $50 here, $100 there. But I mean, it does add up.
Absolutely.
For sure. And I mean, I'm blessed enough to have my other company that really supports a lot of the crazy stuff that I want to do, which is nice. I mean, transportation is definitely my bread and butter. Monkeys on the Run is my passion. And,
service.
Yeah. And it's just, I love what we do. And I love that we can be a part of this community in such a big way. It's just so important. We want our young people to still be able to be farming and to do the trades that they do. Like Fens Towing just did that huge thing up at the school, which was incredible, where they supplied all of these, I think it was welding tools or something. Sarah will tell you a lot more than I can, but it was just so awesome to see a local business get behind the school project to the extent that they did, with the kids, to really support the trades, because not everybody is book smart and wants to go to college. Nothing against going to college. I mean, all for it, but some of us are just not meant for that. And we need the trades. And a lot of our kids here in this community, good hard workers, because their parents are, and their grandparents, and they have a legacy, and they want to be able to do all of that. And it's just so important that that we support these up and coming business owners, or members of our community. Today your kids are 5, tomorrow they're going to be 18, and they're going to be contributing to the greater good of everybody, and how we treat them and how we are as business owners. They're going to remember that, and it's just important that we keep that in mind all the time. And then our customers support us as well, which then gives us the ability to do that. So it's totally full circle.
Absolutely. What is, with Rob's Speedy Delivery, everything that is, Monkeys on the Run, your experience with the newspaper, your experience with La Grande in rural America, what do you think is one of the biggest lessons you have learned personally living here as a business owner? What's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned? And sometimes it's hard to spin those in a positive way, right? Because I think sometimes the biggest lessons we learn are like, oh crap, I don't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay if it's one of those. But what's one of the biggest lessons you have personally learned through all of this? All we've been talking about, kind of your background, your history, where Rob's is, where Monkeys on the Run. What do you think that is?
There's a couple, but one of I think the hardest things is I'm a relationship person, and I am hook, line, sinker, man. I go all in, and I tend to be the one, like, I'm pretty giving, and I'm pretty much like, yeah, 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 yeah. And I have found that some folks are only there for the handout, and that has probably been one of the toughest things, because I'm really vested in it from a personal standpoint, from a business standpoint. And then when somebody else isn't as vested, or they betray your trust completely, it's really hard. And so, I have really close friends who are like, we'd love to work for you. I'm like, nope, not doing it. Been there, done that. And I think it just, as a whole, it's an easy fix, oh, hey, I'll have, so-and-so come work for me, and this will be great. And, you just have different visions. And so when your friend is not on the same page as you, you're the one paying the bills, you're the one doing things, it ruins friendships. And that's probably the toughest thing, is losing a friendship over a business thing. I am so anti that, because it's like, I would much rather keep my friends than have an easy out with a friend coming to work for me. I'm not the easiest person to work for. I have pretty high standards, and I'm, if we tell somebody we're doing it, we're doing it, and I'm not going to accept anything less. And that doesn't go so well when you're friends, so that's probably one of the hardest things. And then the other thing is just being in a rural community. There are a lot of challenges, and when you're not from here, you kind of have to make your own road. And, as you're making that road, you make mistakes, and some people will forgive you and other people will not. And so you just have to realize, in a small community, you really watch what you say and do and how you are. But I mean, all in all, I wouldn't trade it. I mean, it took me a long time to really feel like La Grande is home. And now it's like, I have to go back to Colorado, where I grew up, and it's a small town as well, this weekend for a funeral. But, I'm like, when I go back home, I know I'm gonna be like, yeah, I live in La Grande, Oregon. That's my, my hometown now. And it's nice. So,
yeah, the rural community is beautiful. I grew up in Enterprise, and so I didn't move very far from home. I visited cities here and there. My wife and I have traveled around the world to a couple of different places. I think for me, it was very much when COVID hit, living in Union, Oregon, and living through COVID in Union, Oregon, really solidified for me, no, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not moving anywhere. Just not going to happen. I mean, Oregon's going to have to get worse.
Mhm.
Hopefully it doesn't get worse. Hopefully it gets better. But Oregon's gonna have to get pretty bad before I would uproot my whole family and move from Union and La Grande. We love it here. We love this valley. It's an amazing place. There's amazing people here. And I love what you said about hiring friends or even like family. I love what you say. Like that's difficult. I feel the same way. Like I feel like even I it's hard to, maybe you can help me like talk through this a little bit. Like it's interesting, but I definitely feel like who I am at Dad is different than who I am at home
Mhm. Mhm.
and is different than who I am as drinking a beer, playing guitar with some friends. And for some reason, I feel kind of bad about that I kind of have those different personalities because like you should be you, should be you. But I don't know. I don't know if that's how the world works. And I think I'm with you. It's like when we're working and we need to get it done, we need to get it done. I'm with you. Like there's a certain standard.
Yeah. No, and it's so hard because, because you're the friend, it's like, "Oh, I don't really want to do that today," or I'm going to call out, or do we really have to? And, as the friend, you're like, "Sure." And then you're like, as the boss, it's like, really, we promised the client we would have this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm sorry that want to go play with your grandkid or you want to go do something. Maybe this job isn't for you. And then next thing you know, you have no friendship anymore. And for me, I think that's probably one of the hardest things because I'm a relationship person. I mean, when I invest in a relationship, and I'm not talking like money. I mean, I'm talking time, energy, building that mutual trust between your friends. I mean, I have some amazing friends that, I mean, we do anything for, they do anything for us. I mean, those are the friendships. But it's one of those, it's like when you bring somebody in, it's like, "Oh, you have plenty of money. Why, it's okay that I made this, $4,000 mistake." I'm like, "No, it's not okay you made a
No.
$4,000 mistake. Like that comes directly from my pocket. It's not like this is corporate writing a check. That is, and I'm sorry this happened. Mistakes do happen, but we've got to figure out a game plan to not have this happen again," type of thing. And then there's this animosity, and you're right. It's hard. Like when you're out in public, you're the business owner, and you're out having a beer with your buddies and you're enjoying yourself, and you kind of have to watch what you say sometimes because maybe one of your customers is just down at the bar, and the next thing you know is like, "You said da 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 da," and I'm like, "Ooh, well, yeah, I probably did because that's just how I am." But
Mhm.
it is hard, and that's one of the smaller things in a smaller town. Like, sometimes I'll fly to Vegas for dinner or something because I just want to tie one on and get really crazy. So, flights out of Boise, $50, no luggage, $50 home, I'll do that from time to time just to, get away. But for the most part, yeah, you always kind of have to have that business hat on, whether you want to or you don't.
Mhm.
And then you've got people that totally understand and like, "Hey, have your beer, enjoy your cocktail, enjoy a glass of wine, be who you are. We don't care." But, you're
And
always in the spotlight.
I'm not saying you can be a jerk. Like I'm never like saying it's good to be a jerk and like get too crazy, but yeah, it is. I mean, there's as a business owner, like there's just pressure.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a pressure and there's eyes and it's always fascinating to me now that I'm part of the club, the small business owner club here in town. It's always interesting how small that club is. I call it a club. It's not a club.
It
But
could be though. We should start that.
well, I think we go to Festival of Trees every year. I mean, that's the social go.
Right? I know. I love that. Although this year I have to go back home. We had a family member pass away.
Oh, I'm
So
so
I have to
sorry.
fly out on Friday. And Rob's like, "I'm not going without you." And I was like, "Oh boy. Well, okay. I'm going to have to figure out a different tree this year because I always get a tree, at least one or two or three."
Well, they moved the date too
I know. I was like,
because of the National Guard. It's gonna be interesting.
it's going to be a tough one, I think, this year. But talk about an amazing group of folks, though. I mean, Sir Optimist, they're the ones that sponsor our Women in Business for La Grande Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's the other thing is like our organizations intertwine to help each other as well. And you won't see that in the big cities like you do here.
Mm.
And like the food drive. I mean, we've got so many aspects going on because we're going to take care of our people. It's so important that we're all focused on taking care of, not just like our businesses are getting together. So like legacy, Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler,
Mm-hmm.
and Grocery Outlet and we partnered up to do the food drive. And, we're going to be taking stuff to North Powder Food Bank. They are in desperate need of some stuff there. And so it's just like all of that. You might get some of that in the city, but not the feelings and the passion that goes behind that. And, it's like this has been really tough. It's been a tough year for a lot of folks financially and all kinds of things. And it's like, we can all jump in and, take care of, you need a pack of diapers. Okay, let me just go grab a pack of diapers for you. No problem. And that's where I think the passion comes through so much in our small communities. And just like the various leaderships, State Farm, our sheriff, different folks that do things, Kevin Loveland, all these folks behind the scenes that you would never know unless you're in the club, I guess.
Yeah.
But, it's like you see this with these other folks and that inspires you to even be better. Or, how do I get involved? What do we do? And you'll see a lot of the same businesses always, like that network is always
doing
getting
all the big
together.
things.
So it's not like we need $1,000 from UK, so we need 1,000 from UCAT. We need, it's like, okay, if you do 200, I'll do 200, and we'll get to where we need to go without anybody having that massive financial burden and really just working together. And that is, I think that's the heart of our rural community is our small businesses and just that passion to, hey, Casey, I got an issue. Can you help me with this? Like, I can't figure out my algorithms or, and it's like, I know that's a service that you guys provide at the Ad Dad. And I'm like, oh, I got to get time to chat with Casey about this because I need to be able to build some stuff up. And that's just, it's like, it's so important because you and I have built this trust. And of course, we've had a relationship for a long time, which helps. But like, I know you know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And it's exciting. And it just kind of ignites that fire.
Totally. It inspires each of us within our own realms and niches to be more creative and just, it's an upward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
It's synergistic, synergy. I love that word. Synergy is just, yeah, I see it too. It's like you see one business start to advertise and start doing this other thing. And then pretty quick, this business is starting to do it. And they see that and they go, well, I want that. I'm sure you see it with like swag all the time. It's like, oh, who did that? Oh man, I wish my brand was on my shirt like that. Synergy is
Absolutely.
just this. And again, back to this world class of like, we love how our product looks. We have certain tools. Our tools are camera, software, and then us. The eye you have to have when you go out and frame something, so that style as creative. So we have certain tools in the craft. So we have a look and we have that quality and people see that and they go, oh, I want that for our business.
Mm-hmm.
And I love being able to offer a product that is so good that people go, I want that.
Right.
I think that's kind of, as a creative, I think you're starving for that. You want people to go, I want that. I want that product. And maybe that's just a business owner in general. You want to have a product that you believe in, that works. I mean, there's nothing harder to sell than something you don't believe in.
Right.
So, yeah. So talking about, we are going to wrap this up. But I wanted to see, I'm sure because you guys did the wrap on our wonderful van, our silly little white van that we bought. I'm so proud of our van. It's got paint chipping. It's like a 2001 Chevy, whatever it is. It's not an Astro Star, I know that. But it can haul a lot of stuff. And you've seen it running around town because Monkeys on the Run, Cat and the crew, you guys put the stickers on it for us. And so we're very, very grateful. But so we do rentals.
Yes.
We do rentals, tables, tents, chairs, sound systems. I think there's a huge need for that in our community.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely. You just never know. I mean, there's not really a place to have a huge event, or if you want to do something at your yard or your home, or you want like out in the country, yeah, there isn't any of that. And so I think it's definitely a need that's here that you've seen. And so you started that business, which is awesome.
You got to build the venue. That's what I tell people. Build your own venue.
Right?
BYOV. Build your own. Yeah, I got that right. BYOV. Hey, let's start that trend, Brooks. We're going to start that hashtag BYOV. Build your own venue. There we go.
Absolutely.
We just came up with a new marketing scheme for 2026.
I love it.
BYOV.
Yeah.
Even rhymes.
Oh.
So, Kat, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You did fantastic.
Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. I've always, I'm like, well, I love sitting down and chatting with you anyway, just like, whether it's at lunch or at the park in Union, at an event, whatever. But it's like just to see how far we both have come from our newspaper days, right? Like we're both sitting kind of in there going, we know we have more to do and we know we have these dreams and goals and visions, but really like making those happen. And it kind of all branched out from different experiences and different things that we had happen that kind of gave us the boot, kind of gave us the kick in the butt we needed to be able to grow. Like, I'm so proud of you. I love seeing everything you're doing and your family. And I'm just like, man, I remember when Casey was in the press room. He was single. He was singing on his guitar. Every time that Friday song comes up,
That's right.
I have to share it on my social because it's like, I love it. It's like, yes, it's Friday. And it was so cool just to see how much you've grown and like taken all of that talent and really put it into your own business. And now I've made this incredible Ad Dad, the rental station. Like, you don't stop, which is just super exciting and encouraging, to all of these other businesses and being able to, you MC, like when you did the Oktoberfest, you made sure the sponsorship value was there for every sponsor, which that's something that lacks in our community. I mean, I hate to say it, but we have all these businesses that sponsor a lot. And that was the one event that the sponsorship was worth every penny that we did. And it was so... because you knew the business, you knew, like, I don't know who worked with it or how it all worked out, but you guys had a very good plan between you and the committee and everybody else. And it was phenomenal. And I think like if we can get those passions too, because I think businesses would be more apt to support more if they felt like they actually got something from that.
Sure.
And there's sometimes you just want to be a silent one and let it do its thing. But man, that was so talented when you MC.
Thank
And
you.
in the Festival of Trees, you guys you have this camaraderie with the folks you're working with that's phenomenal. And seeing you in that light versus when we first met in the press room, night and day, and just seeing all that potential coming to life is phenomenal. And I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see how you progress even more.
Thank you. No, I'm extremely humbled by your kind words. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, well, that's all. That's all, folks. That's all we have time for today. Kat, you will be back at a later date. Guarantee it. Guarantee we're going to have something else to talk about in the not too distant future. So thank you so much for coming on, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks. Yeah, you too. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.